watching Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do. And what I want to do today is do a video called Explaining Grits to Yankees. Yeah, because a lot of people that aren't from, the part of America that I'm from, the South, don't understand grits. And I get questions when I cook grits on the show or use grits as a side dish, about grits. And sometimes I hear from people that never tried grits. And all I can think of is that My Cousin Vinny thing. If you ever saw that movie, they talk about grits. They don't do a good job of explaining it, but there's some good things in there that you'll find out about grits. Let's talk about what this video is going to be. It's going to be about the main three types of grits, okay? It's going to be about regular grits, quick grits, and I'm going to talk about instant grits. I'm not going to say good things about instant grits. All right. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about yellow grits. All right. This is yellow grits. Couldn't find it made by Quaker. It's hard to find yellow grits in grocery stores. A lot of times where I find yellow grits is like these county fairs or old time festivals or something, and somebody's got some kind of old cornmeal grist machine or mule grinding corn or something, and they'll sell you yellow grits. Yellow grits are made from yellow corn, but they're not as common as white grits, which are made from corn too. But the grits is the inside part of the starchy part of the corn on the inside there, from what I understand, all right? We're not gonna talk about grinding grits, and we're not gonna talk about the science of how grits are made and all that stuff. I'm also not gonna talk about hominy grits. Hominy grits are made from hominy, or also hominy corn, if you might. And hominy is corn that has been treated with either lye or lime. That's pickling lime, slate lime, the chemical, not the fruit, all right? And this treating the corn with that it dissolves the outside skin of the kernel, and it causes the starch on the inside to expand to 3 times the size of the kernel. So you get more food out of it, and there's a certain flavor to hominy corn that a lot of people like. And I'm not going to talk about hominy grits, okay? I'm going to mainly talk about regular grits, quick grits, and instant grits, and how grits should be served. Before I do that, I want to tell you a little story. I knew growing up that, people up north didn't eat grits as much because it's a southern thing. And when I was in 8th grade, I got to take this trip with the gifted kids up to Washington, D.C., and we got to go to Williamsburg, and we got to go to Pennsylvania, and we went to Intercourse, Pennsylvania, and 8th graders just thought that was the funniest name. Got to go to Amish country there. Anyway, we were staying at Holiday Inn somewhere in Pennsylvania, and this is before breakfast buffets were a big deal. This was the early 80s, and about 84 maybe. And there was grits on the menu, so I ordered grits. And it was Pennsylvania, and they came with maple syrup on it, and my stomach just kind of turned. Like, we in the South, we don't eat sweet grits. I know there's some places in the North that will eat grits, and they eat them like oatmeal. They eat sweet grits. I know one person, I'm 51 years old, I've met one person, she eats sweet grits. There is a type of grit that's eaten here in Louisiana called couscous. And couscous is a yellow grit, okay? And it's a coarse grit. And it's made with bacon or bacon grease, okay? And then sweetened with cane syrup. And some people love couscous and some people can't stand couscous. If it's couscous, I'll eat sweet grits, but it's gotta be couscous, all right? It's sweetened with cane syrup, all right? Yellow grits, by the way, are also similar to polenta. All right, they're similar to polenta. They're kind of like the southern version of the Italian polenta, all right? But let's talk about the main kind of grits, the grits you're gonna find mostly, all right? There is regular grits. Now, regular grits are not usually, they're called regular grits. People call them regular grits. But you're not gonna find them as regular grits in the grocery store much. They're gonna have some cutesy marketing name, like Quaker calls them old-fashioned grits. You may see old-timey grits. You may see classic grits or something like that with some fancy name like classic or old-fashioned. This is normal grits, regular grits, all right? The most common type of grits eaten in the South today are quick grits, 5-minute grits. This doesn't mean they take 5 minutes to make. I'll explain that too, okay? This means there's 5 minutes of boiling time as opposed to 20 minutes of boiling time. And then there's this abomination called instant grits. If you saw my cousin Vinny, no self-respecting Southerner would ever eat instant grits. All right, let's talk about what they are. First of all, about the serving of the sweet stuff, all right? We eat oatmeal in the South. We sweeten oatmeal. Oatmeal's sweet, all right? Oatmeal's sweet. Grits, usually served savory. I like mine, like a lot of folks in Louisiana, like theirs, all right? What butter, salt, pepper, and hot sauce. Now, I've got some in-laws in Mississippi. My sister-in-law, the sister of my late wife, her and her family live over in Mississippi. They don't really do hot sauce. They eat their grits with butter, salt, and pepper. No hot sauce. Can't even find hot sauce in their house. That's because they're white folks from Mississippi. Some people say white folks don't eat hot sauce. They hadn't met white folks from Louisiana. But if they meet them from Mississippi, I can understand why they think that. They don't eat hot sauce. I gotta bring hot sauce if I go to their house.
Now granted, this is instant stuff, but this is all oatmeal, and you see it's cranberry and banana nut and blueberry and strawberry and maple and apples and cinnamon and all this sugar stuff. But you get the grits and you get real flavors. Cheese and cheddar cheese and jalapeno and cheddar and country bacon and red eye gravy and country ham. You get savory flavors with the instant grits. With oatmeal, it's sweet. Grits, not supposed to be sweet.
All right. Regular grits, under the Quaker name, old-fashioned grits. These have a coarser grain. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put them in water. Now, when you boil grits, okay, it's like a lot like boiling rice, except rice, you generally use twice the amount of water that you have rice. If you got a cup of rice, you use 2 cups of water, therefore. 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water, therefore. 4 times the water to grits. 4 times the water to grits. So 1 cup of grits, 4 cups of water. 2 cups of grits, 8 cups of water, and therefore, all right? That's how you do grits. And with these, you're gonna put the water in there, you're gonna salt the water, and you're going to bring the water to a boil. You're gonna stir this frequently. I like to cover mine as they do it, but I stir it frequently. And then once they start boiling, you're gonna boil them for about 20 minutes. Then you're gonna turn it down for a simmer, and you're gonna let them simmer for about 20 minutes. And so this whole process is gonna take about 45 minutes to cook regular grits. The advantage to this is that you get a good textured grit out of it, all right? And if you're going to bring grits to a brunch or something like that, or make cheese grits, or you're going to serve shrimp and grits to people, you're gonna wanna use regular grits because you get a really good texture with regular grits. Now, quick grits are the same thing, all right? And quick grits come under several different brands. I usually buy the Jim Dandy brand, but today I bought Quaker, just because Quaker was the only regular grits I could find in the grocery store where I was. All right. Anyway, the thing is with this is the same thing as this, just ground a little finer. So this is about like kosher salt. This is about like table salt. Okay. It's just finer. And because it's finer, the grits will cook a little quicker. So you put it in the water, same ratio, 4 cups of water, 1 cup of grits, okay, 4 to 1, all right? And you salt the water and you boil it, all right? Now, some people put milk when they cook grits, but a lot of people don't. Most people don't, I think. I don't know. No one in my family. We just cook them with salt water, you know? Anyway, 4 cups of water, okay, 1 cup of grits. And once it comes to a boil, you only got to boil it for about 5 minutes, sometimes 7 minutes, depending on how you like your grits, how runny you like them, or how thick you like them. Because you got thick grits, you got runny grits, all that stuff. Some people like them more runny. But basically, you know, grits are like a porridge. They're gruel. They're hot cereal, like oatmeal, right? And you cook them. You only got to boil them for about 5 minutes, and then you turn them down to a simmer. And then they need to simmer about 20 minutes. So with quick grits, you're going to get grits in, maybe you got to simmer maybe 15 minutes. So we'll say like 20 minutes to a half hour. You can have these ready. You only got to really boil them about 5 minutes. So, but you do, it's going to take longer than 5 minutes to prepare them. You're going to take 5 minutes of boiling time. You're going to have to keep these boiling and stirring for about 20 minutes because these are your coarser grain grits, but they do give a better texture to it. However, nowadays, this is the most popular type of grit. And this is the grit that you're going to get when you come to the South and go to a restaurant. You go to a diner, a short order restaurant, something like a Denny's or a Waffle House or something like that, and you order grits. You're probably going to get quick grits because they're not going to sit back in that commercial kitchen cooking stuff for 20 minutes when they only got to cook it for 5 or boil it for 5. You understand? So this is the kind of grits most people are familiar with. And you go to the store shelves, most of the grits are like this. Actually, nowadays you see most of them instant grits. When my cousin Vinny came out, instant grits was a small little section. All right. Now let's talk about instant grits. This is a completely different animal. This is not the same as regular grits and quick grits. The only difference between regular grits and quick grits is the grain size. This is a processed product where they cook the grits. Then once the grits are cooked, they dehydrate the grits. Then grind that dehydrated grits up into a powder, and that's what you have. And it totally takes out any flavor, any taste, any nutrients, anything that's good about the grits. And that's why when you find instant grits, you're going to find them. They're usually going to be served in like these little pouches like this, all right? Opened up. These little pouches, all right? Now, the cool thing about instant grits is they are instant and they are easy. You know, you got kids or adolescents or whatever, you can teach them to throw it in a bowl, throw some water in the bowl, heat it in the microwave, boom, they got grits. So they come with flavors like butter and cheese and whatever, jalapeno and cheese I saw yesterday. That seems somewhat interesting, but they don't have the right texture. It's hard to get them to really be like grits. I really feel like if you get like plain instant grits, that's the reason a lot of people who try grits don't like grits, because they tried instant grits. And most of the instant grits you see are going to be flavored. And if you're going to get flavored instant grits, you might as well get a good southern flavor like red eye gravy, all right? Red eye gravy and country ham instant grits. If I'm eating instant grits, that's why I bought this one. I like the flavor of red eye gravy, and it doesn't really taste like good red eye gravy, but it's similar. You know, if I'm gonna buy instant grits, it's gonna be red eye gravy grits. But they come flavored. There's a reason they come flavored, and that's because these are lousy, and they have to season them, they have to flavor them, they have to put stuff in them. All right, I mean, instant grits are to grits what ramen noodles is to spaghetti. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying there? Ramen noodles ain't spaghetti, and instant grits ain't really grits. All right, let's see if we can take a look at the grain size of them. And once I said, you know, we make our grits savory, most of us. We put cheese grits, cheddar cheese grits, pepper jack cheese grits. You just take the grits and you put like half pound or pound or how much you cook, you know, of cheese in there and melt that in there. Garlic grits, you put garlic powder in it. Chili grits, chili cheese grits. I like to take grits and put cheddar cheese in it and then chili powder in there. I got chili cheese grits, all right? That's a thing. You can serve grits with, it's a common breakfast food with just butter and salt, and you take that fried egg and you put it over there, that sunny up egg, and you get that yolk all mixed in those grits. Whoa, that's good. Yeah, that's good breakfast. But you can serve grits as a side, it's common at brunch. Cheese grits are common at brunch, but you can serve grits as a side dish to a dinner meal, and sometimes they are. I like them with pork chops, fried pork chops, grilled pork chops, especially with a tasso gravy or a tomato gravy. Yeah, I like pork chops with tomato gravy, and I like grits with tomato gravy. And sometimes if I'm doing pork chops, grilled pork chops, and putting tomato gravy on there, or fried pork chops with tomato gravy, I'll make grits too and put some of that tomato gravy on top of the grits as well. All right, as a side dish to the pork chops. So yeah, you can use grits anytime. We will eat grits anytime. They're cheap. They're easy to make, and they're delicious. The reason they're delicious, they got a good corn flavor, but they're bland enough where you can flavor them the way you want to. And yeah, I know one person who eats sweet grits. Oh well. Oh well. Gotta forgive people sometime. All right. Anyway, oatmeal's sweet. Grits ain't. Oatmeal is sweet. Grits ain't. Let's take a look at the grain size. And I have for you on this brown parchment paper, each type of grit, a tablespoon of each, all right? And this is the yellow grits. I said grit singular. Nobody uses grit singular. And if you can see, it's coarse grain, okay, about like kosher salt, all right? This is regular grits, and it's about the same size grain as these yellow grits, because I never see yellow grits in quick grit form. They may have quick yellow grits, but I've never seen them that way. All right, these are quick grits, and these are very, very common here in the 21st century. It's what most people eat nowadays. And this is much more powdery. Okay, there are some coarse pieces there, but much of it's more powdery, more chalky. It's basically just a smaller grind. Okay, if you think of coffee, this would be like percolator or French press grind. That would be like drip grind. This would be more like this is kind of flaky actually. It's kind of like flakes. It's cooked grits that have been dehydrated. This is junk. And you can see it's got these little bits of dehydrated bacon in there because it's the red eye gravy flavor. So they're not exactly white, you know, and if you had cheese flavor, they'd be yellow. All right. Anyway, the instant grits. No self-respecting Southerner would ever eat instant grits, right? Quick grits, regular grits, going to take about 20 minutes of boiling time. That's how come they were able to solve the crime in the My Cousin Vinny movie, because he made grits and they knew that he had time to do the deed, all right? Anyway, I don't want to give it away, but you know, that's your difference in grits, and I hope you understand the difference in grits. Thanks for watching Big Lou Barbecue.